September
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, well, not most, but
The ones that are drawn
Yeah.
down, they generally.
if they're gonna do it, they do it.
Yeah.
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 And it does affect the weed growth, there's no question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we need is the Lake Warren Association to give us a water level management plan, that would keep
Oh, yeah.
us busy.
Really?
Let's get another plan there, Tim.
Well, you did, was it last year, actually, brought the lake up higher because it was so low. We put two additional boards in, so the lake wouldn't, you could draw down too far.
Well, wasn't that a board that was removed anyway, so it wasn't like.
No, they added two boards.
I know.
David added two boards, to bring it, so the lake would come back up.
Well, let's talk to
Okay.
DES.
That's fine.
And her number was right, I believe, at the bottom of that article. And email.
Yep.
Seriously.
I even read it, but
I think I'm gonna have her go through Kelly, just so everything's, the way all of us see it. I kinda like doing work through this office that way, rather than Alan goes and makes phone calls, I make phone calls, he makes phone
Well, I
calls.
just saw I looked for the article, looked for information and just
No, that's good.
emailed it to
I read that, no,
y'all. So if you forward me that email.
Yeah, there's more cons to it than there are pros in what you sent for information on the
Oh,
drawdown.
absolutely.
So,
alright. Anything new?
yeah, we got invited to a school board meeting, except it's not a school board meeting.
It's with Charlestown.
Yeah.
Select board.
Charlestown,
Yeah.
Langdon, and Walpole, not Ackworth. Why is it not Ackworth?
I'm not sure. Did Ackworth attend?
Did you see my questions on it?
Yeah, and I'm not sure what's on the agenda, yeah.
I can't download it. I got the email, I can't download the attachment.
There is no.
There wasn't
It
an
was just a,
attachment.
well, there was, cause it was asked for one to go to gallery.
No,
I don't have my phone, no, I'll show Kelly tomorrow.
No attachment.
I didn't see an attachment. I think, it's just a continued discussion about the regional middle school. Because you folks got, a letter from them inviting you to, one of their board meetings, earlier in the summer.
Yeah, we went.
No, you didn't go to this, the Charlestown one.
Oh, the Charlestown had
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and I think they reached out.
The
to
amount
the
of
other
kids at the
towns.
high school, maybe they could put the new regional middle school right in one wing of the high school, and that's already built.
There you go.
What are you gonna do with these empty buildings, Jesse? It's not so much that you're gonna build a new school or have a junior high with it, what are you gonna do with the schools we have in our surrounding towns?
The ones you can't take care of already.
All right.
No, they're gonna build. That sounds pretty easy when you say it fast, but it's not that easy.
Well, the middle school in Keene is still,
It's
Still
gone.
for sale.
it's sold, but it's
Yeah, it's
done
nothing.
nothing with it.
Yeah,
Done nothing with it.
That's gonna be what, condos?
I don't know, somebody bought it, but who knows?
And they wanna use one of them for their offices, correct?
Not
One
that-
of the existing middle schools was gonna
Not
be.
that I know of.
yeah, they didn't mention that in our meetings,
I
Chris.
didn't
I
hear that.
thought that was in the plan.
No, because they've got their offices up there.
Right.
I thought they wanted new offices.
Oh, I don't
That
know.
was-
They've been wanting to offices for years, but that wasn't suggested at one of our meetings, but not say it hadn't been.
Yeah.
Oh, it has been.
Okay,
Yeah.
not in our presence, so.
Well, yeah.
People like having their neighborhood schools, elementary schools. I mean, Keene went through the whole thing when they put the new middle school out there and they were talking about closing schools. They did close Jonathan Daniels, but that might be, I don't know if administrative offices are in there now or whatever. but-
There's several offices, but it's not utilized.
No, no, and that was the newest of the schools.
And about bankrupted the city of Keene doing it.
Just raise taxes. Well, that's what Keene does.
If we don't
Their
have
property
anything else.
taxes are astronomical.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I got a couple of things.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
You didn't vote yet on the adjournment.
Yeah.
One, I wanted to ask Kim if you had any plans to propose capital reserve funds for the fire department.
I generally leave that up to the powers that be. All funds are greatly appreciated to be put into the capital reserve.
Okay. The other one has to do with the
the topic of the computer policy for the town and the town's various offices and so on. And members of our budget committee have made some suggestions about some policy guidelines and would like to present them to you and also to present them to the staff that are using the computers with the participation of the software folks that you use to try to make a meaningful and coherent policy for all the town's computers. So if that's of interest, we'll go ahead with that. I think
I have no
Joel
idea
and
what you're talking
Chris
about.
have been working.
Okay, this is the advisory budget committee making
Right.
this suggestion? Okay.
Right, yeah, I brought up the computer thing, a couple months ago.
What's a computer thing? Give me some help, huh?
Well, I raised the question about computer security, for instance, because
you
of the unattended and
I remember that.
an open ambulance computer that's sitting over there. And then we got wondering, well, who maintains these things? Who puts the updates on them? Who manages the software? And is it consistent and is it useful?
Yeah.
And is it economical? And so we've got some ideas and we would be happy to share them and to share them with Kelly and the staff and the software people that you all work with.
More along the line of policy idea?
Well, yeah, our suggestion is that we definitely need a policy because there's computers all over the place and some of them seem to get attention and some of them don't, so.
Honestly,
I
what's
think
that
the
got to do
ones-
with the budget committee?
Yeah, the ones that don't have,
We have a computer policy, however, there's not supposed to be anybody in our, that's not authorized in our station. That is the policy. You don't look at Facebook and you don't, well, with the 4 kilobyte speed we have, you can almost go to the website that we have to report on.
Well, that kind of upgrade could be an important part of the policy.
Oh, we already upgraded.
Yeah.
Anyway, our interest in it had to do with the exposure of the computer and the possible liability to the town if there were a security breach, and also the maintenance of the equipment so that it, and the hardware and the software, so that it's useful for the town and doesn't cost a lot of money and time and stuff
so
like
the
that.
only ones that were definitely in question that aren't on a regular cycle as far as maintenance and security was the one that the ambulance was using, because it was so old. All the other ones are on a very regular schedule and backed up already. And you had mentioned the software companies. I mean, what exactly are you looking
Well,
for?
you have a consultant, the town has a consultant that helps
Correct.
Yep,
maintain
right,
and
right,
upgrade
yep.
and so on.
Yep,
It's actually a maintenance contract.
yep, so,
And if there are some suggestions about a useful policy, which you might want to look at, and the select board might want to look at, we shouldn't just throw it in your lap, we should say, well, is this really useful, and are these ideas something that's compatible with what your software?
so I do
team
know
does?
that he really upped the security once we had a virus that came onto my computer, so he's kind of changed and looked at the firewall and everything so that we don't have that. But he's very much on top of all of that stuff,
So the town has a good
Oh, yes,
up-to-date policy, and
yes, and it's
And
backed
all-
up and it's
all the tools
maintained.
are in place.
And we pay every single month for him to do this. The only one that was not on that radar was the computer that the ambulance,
Right.
but that will now be maintained.
Okay, and it will
Security.
be maintained as part of policy to maintain?
Oh,
it?
yeah, that's part of the contract when we buy stuff from Greg. Yep, he'll maintain that and security levels and all of that stuff, the updates.
Jesse, when are you gonna get that computer?
I don't know,
Whenever Greg brings it.
yeah.
So
But
the
But,
thought-
I mean-
at the current speed that's running, just to open the first page of our reporting software takes 47 minutes. So like,
that sounds like it's not really
It's not useful at all.
It's not useful. And the policy, it hasn't addressed its uselessness, if it's still useless.
Yeah, the policy that addressed it is we bought a new computer.
Right.
Okay, well, that's part of the policy.
Yeah,
You know, those are the kind of suggestions that
Right,
we could,
there's
that
not, we have a policy when we put the computer in the ambulance, because we have a tablet in the ambulance, that you don't go on Facebook and you don't do anything other than the applications that are downloaded on it. And it's very easy to check the browser data on it.
Kim, I assume you got the same policy in the fire station?
I'm basically the only one that uses it. But I would like to say, if he's getting a new computer, I would like his old one for parts.
Which part are you most interested in?
We want, well, power supply, the cooling fans, the towers themselves.
Well, you work it out with Jesse. I don't think it has no resale value.
No, this is to keep ours running.
No, I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying that it really isn't a problem.
You can have that.
You can have it.
Greg could get you one that works.
Just gonna say, I mean, how this kinda started was sort of a checklist to verify, and it could be a town policy that says all computers must be kept up to date on your updates, they must have antivirus software on them. You have an acceptable use policy in place, that's part of the, employee handbook.
Yeah.
And that, you know, you report any breaches and things like that to Kelly. I mean, it can be as simple as that, but if you don't have a policy that is saying, you know, Windows XP hasn't been updated in how many years? 4 or 5?
Yeah, I'm thinking like 2008 was probably the
Yeah,
last.
so literally a machine that is used for PHI, personal health information, is vulnerable 7 years back. And that's the kind of thing that you would hope your policy would address, so, we didn't envision it as anything complex, it's typically one of those things you can hand to Greg and he go, yep, I'm doing this, 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 and this, and if you guys see that as having value, then you could just adopt it as a policy. It shouldn't be a complex, complicated thing to do.
I think it sounds to me like the budget committee needs more to do.
Right, Simone?
That's just my thoughts on that.
Although it would be helpful, as far as compliance goes, we could show somebody that we have one. That's important.
I think now that the computer is being bought through the office, that Kelly said it's automatically going to
It's
be maintained.
automatically on.
But up until now, that computer, what was happened, it was found it was so slow, it took 45 minutes to go into, so it was never upgraded at all, so
Prior
Because
to
you
Jesse,
couldn't.
we never heard
Right.
anything, so, I mean, now
And
that
what about
Jesse's.
Kim's computer, when he gets a new one, is it gonna go through your office, so it
Mhm.
can be?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that,
but he's getting a tablet, so he can,
yeah.
So I guess I'd just like to ask, you know, we've got some ideas, do you want to know what they are for a policy?
We might as well know now.
Yeah,
Okay,
In
we'll
the
get them to you.
there you go, thank you.
In the future, I would hope that we could give direction to the budget committee of what we want to see projects.
Yeah, and I think this comes under, we brought this up a couple weeks ago. In the course of the questions we ask and the things that we see, when we do come across stuff, you wanna know about it. This is one of those things that we came across. So, like I
It
said,
may be one of those things that we need and we really don't know that we need it. I mean, policy for, everybody thinks they know how to run a computer, which they do, I mean, most people do, but it's nice to be able to at least look at a piece of paper and say you're supposed to upgrade this. But we got service.
Yeah,
that
we'd
we
like
do
to
it
think
anyway.
we're paying for service we
Yeah.
ought to be getting.
If we're not getting that type of service, we're not getting our money for it.
I think one of the other things that came out of it was how many computers did the town, did you have an inventory of how many computers are out there that the town is, you know,
I
responsible
don't
for?
honestly know.
Well, I think that's where it finally started, is how, did you guys know how many computers are sitting out there?
With all of the phones that the highway has, those are computers.
Well, that's-
Everything's a computer.
And that's easy enough for each department to come forward and say they have X amount of computers, you know, or tablets, you know.
I guess what I'm saying is, we may not know what we need.
Well, we'll share our ideas with you and you can do with them as you like.
Does the advisory budget committee have anything else on their horizon they wanna show us?
We'll meet tomorrow and we'll let you know.
Did you finish, I know they were working on getting grants for Violet's Pool, did they get any?
Yeah, I think that we haven't got, I don't know where that stands. I wasn't able to be at the last meeting, and I know it was on the agenda, but I don't know how far it got.
What other
Well,
kind?
Bobby, do you know if Serene turned that in for the
I
tower?
don't know, I know that I gave it to her with a check.
Okay,
There was a check for it, so
Oh, good.
it's one that's in the process.
that was taken
So
care of.
that's
So I
in the
don't know.
works. And
I can't honestly say she mailed it or what.
That's on the bell tower.
Let's see it
You know
first.
what you might do? You might make
I
a
know what I'd like to.
You want to adjourn?
Go ahead.
Did you already adjourn?
No, not yet.
No,
He has-
but I got one question for Bobby. Can that dumpster up the Bowles Pool go away?
Oh, I heard that you said somebody was using it or?
Yes, I saw him yesterday using it. It's time for it to go bye-bye.
Okay, excuse me. Somebody must have broken off the lock, because it hasn't been used.
Well, somebody was there dumping garbage in there yesterday. I saw it
I
happen.
understand, and I just found out about it.
Okay. But can it go away for the winter?
Yes, it can go away. The reason they leave it is because it's costly to pick it up and take it and bring it back. And they just said, why not leave it? And that's
Okay,
why
let it fill up with trash over the winter and let it look like hell and,
It had no problem last year.
okay.
And I'm assuming if anybody dumped in there, it's because they, what are the things they use, they must have, but I don't have a problem if it goes.
Well, if it's an eyesore in 2 months from now, it's going.
It can go right now. It really, it's not a big deal.
Is there a fee,
But I'm
Bobby?
just saying it hadn't happened before and the
The
locks
They
have
just
been
lock it.
cut off.
What's the fee to pick it, isn't it like $250?
Why would they go to the trouble of cutting the lock? Why wouldn't they just throw their garbage down beside the thing and walk away?
Some people have principles.
Why don't they go to dump?
It's to drive from here up there.
They didn't want it to be messy.
So nobody knows they're doing it.
Okay, I'll make the motion adjourn.
Second.
Okay.
Aye.
Alan, are these yours?
Yeah, go ahead, help yourself. Don't be afraid to take more than one.
Those are so good.
Saw that, Marge.
And you put them all the way on the other side of the
Never had yours.
table.
Hey, you could've gotten
That's how I brought them, Chris.
Well, I never had the opportunity to buy yours. Thank you.
Kelly,
You're welcome.
hey, do you know what the fee of this is now?
I don't. Get a rake.
We have it on that. It's with the company for
No.
years and years and years.
Right.
When they picked it up, he said he didn't need it.
Yes.
He was with
Wow,
it for
where-
years, Steve. And when they picked it up, we got a bill, so I think it's $250.
Pick it up.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure
You
what
know,
they're
fill us
picking up
in.
and dropping off.
What they're up to and.
That's all right, but I don't wanna see garbage overfilling the damn thing in 2
I know,
months.
but she can't help it.
Yeah, for your diabetes.
No, it's not a problem. No,
Yeah.
that isn't.
I thought we were gonna get rid of it anyways. I thought the highway department was gonna pick up the garbage and remove the garbage that was generated up there.
Nothing ever came about that, nothing ever came.
I thought that